How's it going, everybody? It's Clint from the Die Hard MMA podcast. This is UFC Vegas 259, most stacked card of the year. Me and my guest, Matt Holt, break the whole thing down from a betting perspective. Check it out at the link below. Head on over to odds.com. Give us a like while you're at it, and have a good week. Good luck on all your betting action. We've got the last fight on the preliminary card here, one that there's a lot to talk about. Bantamweight fight between former champion, one of the all-time greats, Dominick Cruz, taking on Kenney. And again, it's a passing of the torch. It's the old and busted versus the new hotness. Kenney has been doing absolutely everything we could ask him to. He's been just proving himself at every single turn. I am beyond impressed with everything Kenney has done. And it's not like a couple of the other examples that we've given. You know, Kenney, at this point, he's got 6 UFC fights, and his only loss was Merab freaking Dvalishvili. And he gave Merab a fight that night, Matt. If you recall, that was probably one of the toughest nights Merab has had, because he just couldn't keep his hands on this kid, and he was eating shots every single time he got a hold of him. Dominick Cruz, we all know Dom. You know, this guy ruled over the division with an iron fist, and he's the one guy that was able to come back from the worst injury, from the longest layoff, and still showed that he was elite, took the title back, and then he damn near did it again. So he came out, he's on a 2-fight losing streak. Cody Garbrandt and Henry Cejudo at this point, the inactivity, the injuries on his body just mounting up, keeping him out of the cage. He's trying to put some work together here towards the end stages of his career. Do you have a move on this one, Matt? What are you planning on doing?
This is probably the hardest fight for me to get a read on. And part of the reason is, Dominick Cruz has only fought twice since 2016. How do you get a read on a guy who's fought twice in 5 years? And in the first one of those, he looked really bad against Cody. His timing was off. He was slow. I mean, that was Cody Garbrandt's pinnacle, right? I mean, the domination of Dominick Cruz, because he didn't just beat Dominick, he dominated him, continued to knock him down time after time. And then against Cejudo, I thought Cruz was looking really good until he got cracked right at the end of the round. And then, of course, we know Dominick says, they shouldn't have stopped the fight, but it is what it is. He did get cracked at the end of the round. I don't know that Kenney has that one-punch crack, but I know that he's the new hot thing right now. But one fight ago, a lot of people were betting against him with Nathaniel Wood. They were like, oh, Nathaniel Wood, we love this guy, his length at the division. And then Kenney whips him, and everybody loves Kenney. So I don't know what to do, because it feels like you're not getting a bargain on Kenney. But at the end of the day, it's really hard to back Dominick Cruz. 2 fights in 5 years, and they were both losses.
Yeah. And it's so funny that you brought that up, because I feel like that Cejudo-Cruz fight is such a split. I mean, even in the chat right now, we've got people saying how Cruz wasn't winning against Cejudo, and then other people saying that Cruz was dominating until he got caught. Like, people are viewing that fight completely polar opposite of one another. It's so hard to get a read on where Dominick Cruz is at right now. It's a 3-round fight. Dominick might be able to come out and do what he does. But honestly, if there's any guy in the UFC that does what Dom does, it's Kenney. The footwork on this kid, the speed, the movement, he might be able to do kind of what Cody Garbrandt did back in the day and beat Cruz at his own game. And then it may not be something that we see often. Kenney's only got 2 knockouts. But like, if you saw when he knocked out Vince Cachero, that was a flying knee that came out of nowhere. He can time those type of moves. If he gets the feel for Dominick Cruz's movement, don't count big shots out. They're on the table. It's few and far between. It's rare, but they are completely possible. I took the stab on Kenney. I got minus 120 on Kenney. It's not a spot that I am absolutely in love with or anything like that. We beat a bit of a line movement. It looks like Kenney's about minus 135, minus 140. I'm seeing a minus 150 pop up. May start looking a little wide. If the line keeps on going the direction that it is, I wouldn't be paying minus 160 for Kenney. I wouldn't be paying minus 175 for Kenney. If you missed the good number, just let it go. There's plenty of other spots to bet on this week. So don't overpay for a guy like Kenney in a fight where it could be extremely close. If you got that short number on Kenney, I like it, but it's starting to get to the point from a betting perspective that I feel like it's a dog or pass.
I'm with you. If this line keeps going, it will be a dog or pass, and I don't want to take the dog, so I hope it just stays where it is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where, for me, I'm going to find myself in a bit of a weird spot. Now, I only ever hedge out on fights when I feel like maybe I'm wrong. When I get that spider sense, that little tingling on the back of my neck that lets me know I made a mistake, that's when I hedge out. Or if the weigh-in somebody comes in and just has an awful cut and looks like garbage, I'll hedge out then. But this is the kind of spot where I got minus 125, and if Casey goes off as a minus 200 favorite, I can throw a unit on Dominick Cruz later in the week at plus 175. I don't think it'll get there. I don't think it'll get quite that far, but this would be an interesting spot to be kind of free rolling and not caring who comes out on top in the end.
Yeah, that's not a bad one.
All right. That is it for the preliminary card, folks. We're headed on to the main card. This is UFC Vegas 259, the most stacked card of the year. We've got 569 live viewers. Thank you all so much for spending time with us this evening. This is odds.com. This is the Die Hard MMA podcast. I am your boy, Clint, bringing my hammers to work today. We are joined by Matt Holt, the president of US Integrity, and we appreciate each and every one of you being in the chat with us tonight. Do me a favor. I know you're sick of hearing it. Just smash the like button for me. We got a ton of viewers. Takes you no time at all. We're about to get into the goods, so give us that thumbs up.